Alright, hello guys. In this video, we're going to be talking about when I expect to see our next winter storm in the Midwest. Now, we've been dealing with a pretty standstill pattern where we're not dealing with a lot of snow, and it's going to last quite a while. I'll talk more about that in this video. Out west, we're going to be having some pretty consistent snow. I'll show the snow totals for that. But really, for the Midwest and East, it's going to take a while for us to get back into a pattern where we could see snow. But I'm going to walk you all through that. You'll know exactly what's going on, rest assured. Now, before I get started with this video though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather related content, and also make sure to check out the links in the description for our social medias. Let's get right into things. So first things first, we're looking at our GFS total snowfall through December 26th. And you can see from about the Midwest and the South Central United States eastward, there's basically nothing. But on the West Coast and then for some of the Four Corner states and Rockies, we do see some snow in those areas. You see pinks and even some greens indicating 6 to 12 inches in the pinks, and then in the greens 12 to 24 inches for a lot of those mountainous regions. So we are going to be getting quite a bit of snow from just different systems out there for the mountainous regions out west. So be on the lookout for that, basically from now through the 26th. Now we're going to start to see a trough in those western United States, and this is what's really going to lead to our storm impacting the regions it does. It's going to follow this jet stream here. You can see in the red, that's where our jet stream is approximately located on the 26th. And we're about to take a look at basically your cyclonic vorticity, and really this is a great tool for us to tell where the storm is going to start up. I'll show you guys that in just a second. Something I need to note is that this is a pretty low confidence situation. This is almost 10 days out, this storm we're talking about. We are pretty sure there will be a storm, but the locations that I show in this video could drastically change. And honestly, I'm just showing you guys this so that you're aware of the date to take note of, that I think the next winter storm for either the central United States or eastern United States will take place. Please handle this information responsibly. This is not a forecast. I'm just presenting you guys what the models are showing as of right now. Enjoy the video. Alright, so as you can see, we have something brewing offshore of California there, and that's going to be our storm. It's going to wrap around that jet stream we were just taking a look at. So it's going to head down into the Four Corner states and then back up through the Midwest, and this is the look that the GFS has for this storm. We will be taking a little bit of a look at the Canadian and European model after this, don't worry. But as you can see, by the time we reach the 27th afternoon, this is fully down at the bottom of the trough, and it's down there below the Four Corner states, below New Mexico and Arizona as well. Let's take a look at what your simulated radar looks like at this point. This is a well-developed system by this point, so we will be dealing with precipitation already, as you can see. Snow down there for Mexico into Arizona, New Mexico, and a bit of Texas as well. Our low pressure system is pretty far south, but you saw that jet stream a second ago. It's going to pull it right back up into the Midwest, and that looks like where it looks to take aim. For a lot of those areas up there, like Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Iowa, the Dakotas, Nebraska, all of those areas look to have a pretty good threat of a pretty major snowstorm, and even the European and Canadian would say the northeastern United States. I'm sticking with the Midwest, though. That's typically how one of these systems would go. Now, we're about to move forward with our simulated radar and take a better look at where we expect this system to move, who gets the heaviest snow. All of those questions will be answered further on into the video. Alright, as you can see, we take one more frame forward and we're at basically December 28th, early morning, middle of the night, maybe 2 a.m. We still see snow going on for New Mexico and Texas, but we see some of those yellows popping up there for Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri. As that heads north and switches to snow, that will be pretty heavy snow. Also take note that we don't really have too much of a developed low pressure system by this point yet, but we will eventually, and we are looking towards that point. Let's move towards later that afternoon or evening, and you can see that we do have a 999 millibar low pressure system located in Illinois. It's moved quite a bit, but it does have precipitation spanning all the way from the Gulf states all the way up to the Great Lakes, so we have a pretty wide area of precipitation with this system. It's rapidly dropping in pressure. Now by this point, it's bringing snow to northern Michigan and areas in Wisconsin. Correct me if I'm wrong if you guys live in that area, but this area has been doing really good this winter as far as snowfall. It seems like you guys are getting a lot of pretty big snowstorms this year so far. Let me know how you guys feel about your winter you've gotten so far. Also notice there's a trough coming in right behind it over the Dakotas, Nebraska, Kansas. We have really cold temperatures heading in behind this one. That's going to head east after this storm comes through, it looks like, on this model. And we're going to take another look forward. And you can see heavier snow enters the state of Wisconsin, Michigan. And we're at a 997 millibar low pressure system by this point, and that trough is dipping down even further. Things are looking pretty good for you guys in this storm so far. Now, we're about to move forward with your simulated radar as we start to see heavier and heavier snow movement and that trough head further east. Going to be very, very exciting to take a look at that with you guys. All right, now it's important to note that this is basically a system that's almost 10 days out. This storm could be in a completely different location, but the models have been showing this system very, very consistently. Location isn't necessarily key with this heaviest snow, but it is key to note that we will be dealing with heavy snow according to this model, and that's the very interesting thing to note. I think we will have a storm around the 29th no matter what. It just where is really the question mark. But you can see as we've moved forward, we see Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota, all getting moderate to heavy snow by this point. We have a 987 millibar low pressure system. This is by 6Z Sunday, which is approximately 12 or 1 a.m. by this point on Sunday, December 9th. Again, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, all dealing with moderate to heavy snow. And we have a 987 millibar low pressure system. Very, very heavy snowstorm by this point. Let's move towards more of the morning time on Sunday, December 29th, and we see it is a 985 millibar low pressure system by this point, and we're dealing with moderate snow still, at least for Michigan and Wisconsin. Let's move on another frame towards 18Z. This is going to be more like the afternoon and evening time of December 29th. Notice that the low pressure system is heading out, but we still have moderate snow sticking around for Wisconsin and Michigan. Also, the trough is heading further and further east, so we're seeing all snow for Michigan now by this point. Let's move on towards nighttime, December 30th, morning time. So I'd say, again, this is maybe 12 or 1 a.m. on December 30th, Monday. And we basically just have lake effect snow going on, and that's about it. But that trough has fully entered the eastern United States. Not all the models have this so far. This is very, very far out. But the GFS is pretty certain by this point that we will be dealing with some sort of big-time trough in the eastern United States after this storm is said and done. Now, we're about to start taking a look at your total snowfalls for this snowstorm according to the GFS, Canadian model, and the European model, which is going to be very, very exciting to take a look at what all these models have to say about the total amount of snow you could expect from this storm as of right now. All right, so we're taking a look at the south central United States on the GFS. You can see for New Mexico, we deal with a pretty good amount of snow, 6 to 12 inches in some of those pink areas, 12 inches plus in some of the green areas. So the high elevation areas in those states does pretty darn well. Let's move to the north central United States, though, where this system really turned into a strong developed low pressure system by the time it gets up there. We do have a lot of purples for Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, especially the northern peninsula. But that's where we're dealing with 3 to 6 inches of snow. In the pink, that's where we're expecting 6 to 12 inches of snow as of right now. And then in the green, we're expecting 12 to 24 inches of snow. The reason why I keep emphasizing as of right now is because, again, this is going to change so much potentially. I just wanted to show that we do have this storm that we've seen consistently the models are showing. So there is the really strong potential for a storm. But I wanted to show you guys what this is showing right now. But you guys have to handle this information responsibly. This has high potential to change, and really this is a low confidence video, not even necessarily a forecast. I'm just letting you guys know I'm seeing the signals for a pretty strong snowstorm potentially for the Midwest around December 29th or 30th, but the confidence again is quite low, but I'll keep you guys updated on what I think this storm is going to do. Anyway, here's the Canadian model on what it's showing. You can see it has a lot more snow for New Mexico and Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and then it has it head way further south and into the northeastern United States, bringing southern Pennsylvania through New Jersey and southern New England, potentially 6 to 12 inches of snow, way different than the GFS. And again, this kind of plays into the fact that, like I was saying, this is a very, very low confidence situation, and this is the variables we're seeing with the different models. They both have a very strong snowstorm, it's just completely different locations. They all start out in the same location, though. Four corner states, Texas. It's just kind of where does it go from there? That's the big question mark. And let's take a look at your European model, and it has a lot more closer solution to the GFS than it does to the Canadian model. We see those snowstorms for the west, and then we see that snow head down south into the four corner states in Mexico and a little bit of Texas. And then we see Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota see snow, which isn't like the GFS or the Canadian, but we do see Wisconsin in the northern peninsula get some snowfall. And then it even hooks back down into the northeastern United States actually on this model, because it never has a trough enter the eastern United States. So we do see this storm hook back north and then into the New England states and bring them a few inches of snow as well. Very, very interesting. I'll continue to keep you guys updated on this storm. Be sure to share this with your friends and family if they'll find it interesting, or if they live in the potentially affected regions, even though this is, again, a pretty low confidence situation. And I'll see you guys in the next video.